It's time to leave your cinematic troubles behind. Let the takes flow through you. And let the noise from the zeitgeist subside. Welcome to Cast Against Time.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking some green cheek. This hails from your
Oh, you
neck of
you
the
liked
woods.
it got you got some?
Yeah, I got a little 4-pack. Got a little mosaic in there, a little Nelson hops. Why not?
Wow.
You know?
You just love Orange County now.
I love Orange County. We talked in our Jesus episode about how I've discovered a new way of life, and I've really learned a lot from the people there. As you can see, the brim of my hat is flatter than usual.
You left a sticker on, I see.
I did. Yeah. Well, you gotta tell people that how you voted, and if you love Orange County like I do, you already know how I voted. And speaking of how I voted, how have you voted with your dollar lately at box office? Laura, actually, a better question would be, how many times have you seen Michael at this point?
I was about to read a review of that.
Well, you
I
don't
have
need a
not-
review. You can form your own opinion, having seen it several times. I know that you mentioned that you were there on opening night.
Dancing in front. Did you see that clip of everybody dancing when the Thriller scene came on the theaters? About like 30 people went up and did the Thriller dance, and everybody else was taking videos of it.
What?
I can't think. Yes, this. I'll look this up while I explain. I can't think of another film that I have wanted to see less.
I mean, we've already done our biopic
I should say in
discussion
recent memory.
to death. The musical biopic in particular is one that I despise. Now, what we're seeing here is a ticking and talking video. Michael fans dancing in the theaters. Now, this is presumably
This is just one. There's a bunch of them, and this is just one person. I've seen another one where it was like 20 people.
So what's happening here is the movie is happening. And first of all, the movie's happening, and there is an actual Michael Jackson look-alike, dance-alike on stage, and the movie's going. It's in full swing. Now listen, this movie seems like straight Afterbirth, but if I saw this at my theater,
It would take over you like you were at church.
every
You would join them, wouldn't you?
hate fluid would leave my body and inform a Voltron of annihilation.
You'd be so mad that you wouldn't be able to see Coleman Domingo's monstrous makeup.
I got to be honest with you, I couldn't tell you hide nor hair from who's in that film.
I mean, I just know Coleman Domingo and Michael Jackson's nephew. I couldn't tell you anybody else.
Why has Coleman Domingo got a schlep like this?
I don't know.
Like, what is he?
I'm sure-
I thought his shit was on the up and up. How long has this film been in development? You're its
I don't
number
know.
one booster. You
I-
should be able to tell me.
Coleman Domingo's number one booster?
No, the films.
I think people must have a soft spot for Antoine Fuqua. I can't think of it otherwise. Maybe he's a really, really nice guy. He keeps making movies, and he keeps making movies after making subpar movies before.
Yeah, I'm not going to defend him. I mean, I thought that he was done. Like, he was doing like episodes of like Mayor of Easttown or whatever. But no, he was like, I just thought he was done. Like, he did like these, like the Equalizer 3, like, 3 years ago. And then I thought maybe we'd be done.
It grossed 191 million worldwide. That's not nothing.
I guess there's a part of me that thought that he was a writer as well. And I think I'm wrong about that. I don't think that he does write. I know he produces. Do you remember that?
No, he directed Training Day. David Ayer wrote Training Day.
That's right. I confuse him and Ayer. I know that you've had a run-in with him via maybe some older gigs of yours.
Emancipation? Yeah. Oh, swing and a miss.
We can't all make amazing hits like The Equalizer 3, The Magnificent
The Equalizer 2,
7.
The Equalizer. He did Olympus Has Fallen?
I guess he did. See, that's why I confuse him with a writer, because I feel like that just feels like something that he would have written and not directed. But
This filmography is outrageous.
It's rough, and this is only going to affirm it because this thing is fucking huge.
Is there yeah, it's going to make a ton of money. Is there any way that you would sit down and watch this movie?
How many bottles of Evan Williams are you willing to put into an IV
sober.
bag for me?
Entirely sober.
I don't think I could do it. Honestly, I really just do think that my aversion to the genre would have been enough.
Oh, wait. This is a better question. How many drinks would I have to buy you before you would go see it in theaters?
I mean, if there's a chance that like
And
there's going to
you
be
couldn't walk out.
a
You couldn't
live
walk
Michael
out.
dancer there, I guess maybe there'd be some fun jujitsu practice.
Or the amount of hee-hees going out throughout the movie.
Who is it? I mean, I know who it's for. It's for children, and by children, I don't mean like young children.
No, this is not for children at
It's
all.
for It's for people who are mentally childish. That's okay. You know, sometimes the dim bulb among us needs somewhere to retreat. You know, and there can only be so many Minions movies. So what do you do? And
I mean, the real irony is that this movie is not for children because Michael is really about children.
well, so that's come up, and you know,
I mean,
there are
it
people
hasn't
who
come up because they probably don't talk about
well,
it at all.
it has come up because they haven't talked about it at all, and their defense, there might be a sequel.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna
Like
do. They're
the
gonna make
fucking sequel's gonna tackle that shit. You know what
they're
I
gonna
mean?
make an entire second movie that's on his downfall. Get the fuck out of here. This movie ends the same exact way. Remember that Jackson 5 VH1 movie?
With Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
This movie ends the exact same way. It might as well just be the same movie. He gets burnt during the commercial and it ends.
I've heard that
that's
there's a stunning lack of Janet in this film.
Well, yeah, I don't think she was a part of it. I don't know about his whole estate, but I know she was like, this movie fucking sucks. And
She
I want
don't
no
need his
part of it.
money.
Oh yeah, Miles Teller is in it.
Matthew, it's me, it's me,
Michael?
it's me, Michael Bach.
Why are you Southern?
It's me, it's me. Hey,
Hey man, how you doing?
Hey, right, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll
You're
get there.
going way off.
we'll get there. Hey, man, it's me. It's me, Michael Bach.
Michael, it's so great to hear from you. How you doing?
I just had a great premiere of my brand new movie.
You're feeling great about it in hell? right now?
I feel it. No, that's ignorant. I'm not in hell. I'm here. I'm here with all my friends. All my friends, Jeffrey Epstein, and
Epstein.
yeah, he's my friend. Yeah, I'm just dancing backward. What am I doing?
God damn, this is the worst. This is the worst bit ever done.
Is there a Michael Jackson popcorn bucket?
It's just a white glove. It's just
Oh my God, there's a hat.
Please tell me that's not true. God damn it.
This fedora hat is insane.
That's not a thing that's happening, right?
It is. They're selling it at Walmart too, apparently.
Wait a minute. Not a popcorn bucket.
I sent you the link.
What? No, this can't be true. What the fuck? My God, it's real. It's fucking huge.
It's so bad.
That's really a lot. It looks like a bedpan.
It,
That's fucked up.
it looks like a one of those plastic hats you get at Party City.
Honestly, it looks like a hospital toilet. I'm not joking. I once was tasked with cleaning up a family member's household. I'm not going to go into details other than that. Posthumously, I should say. And we found all kinds of receptacles
Oh no.
that were filled. Those were less upsetting than this.
I know what to get you for your birthday next week.
Jeez. Yeah, well, sometimes I eat at Del Taco. I do need a portable toilet. Speaking of portable toilets, you mentioned Antoine Fuqua. It is April 28th today.
It is.
And I just say that apropos of nothing. I have been watching a lot of movies, just because it's just been, it's a dark time. I've been trying to I just think that it's we're in a tough, fraught time in the world, and so I just felt like it was time to catch up on a number of movies. And I just this is not really like a podcast that regularly recommends films.
Mm-hmm.
We're not a reviews podcast per se. We leave it to you to discover your own filmic experiences. But that being said, I had a number of films that I just have been not linked to anything, just that have just been on my mind and that I've been catching up with. So I just had a list of a few. If you want to go through that with me,
I would love nothing more, and I'm also very scared.
Well, first is The Parallax View, our main man.
Warren Beatty?
Yeah, Warren Beatty. Just a thriller. You know, sometimes you just need a nice political thriller. And
I know.
and
know
this
where
one
you're
is
going
this
with
one
this.
is
Okay.
an Alan J. Pakula film, and maybe a little bit ahead of his time.
Uh-huh.
You know, definitely doesn't get his place in the sun. Anyway, that's a film that's been on my brain.
The great William Daniels is in it.
Yeah. Hume Cronin, great little film. Another one is In the Line of Fire. That's been on my brain. Just really, again, apropos of nothing. I just think that, Clint Eastwood, he's getting older, and I just think that, like, I worry that I'm not getting enough Clinton in my life, and
Yes.
I just wanted to see, one of his better roles.
Yeah. There's no common thread forming here.
Not at all. No, if there were, it would be pure coincidence.
You've just been watching movies with a bunch of beefcakes as a lead.
That's
so
right.
far.
Well, yeah. And speaking of beefcakes, Costner, right, had to throw JFK in there. Just really think that I just think that, it's a shame. It's a shame what has become of
Oliver Stone.
Oliver Stone with his connection to Putin and everything. And it's a little distasteful. But
I am seeing a presidential.
No, I don't know what that's
happening.
I don't know.
here.
I don't know what that's. That's ignorant.
Was there a fourth one?
Oh, there's a bunch. Well, okay, so
You've been watching a lot of these.
Well, okay. I mean, so the tragedy of Julius Caesar, Shakespeare. So there's a lot of different versions. Pretty good. I haven't seen a bad adaptation of that yet. What else? The Day of the Jackal. That's been one.
Do you have any travel plans anytime soon?
No. And honestly, these are just random. They're just randos, And again, you're drawing some weird correlation in your brain, and I don't, that's on you. That's
I was just
it's
asking your
pure.
travel
That's
habits.
pure coincidence.
What did you pull from these movies?
Just that
Were
the
you
world
inspired?
is murky, and there's mysterious plots about, and just keep on reaching for the stars. I guess is kind of.
Did you find yourself rooting for certain aspects of these films?
Yes and no. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It's complicated. I watched The Manchurian Candidate as well. Very prescient, forward-thinking film, actually. It could even be seen as an allegory for social media if it weren't so ahead of its time. You mentioned Antoine Fuqua. That's what led me to this line of thinking. Shooter by Antoine Fuqua. Because I feel like Mark Wahlberg's been getting a lot of negative press lately with the Balls movie, and I just wanted to remind myself, hey,
man.
there's good Wahlberg out there. So Shooter. Also, a great follow-up to JFK is RFK. That's a film that I feel like it's just they go hand in hand.
You're a big fan of walking through kitchens.
Yeah, right this way, Mr. President, and then
That's your Buca de Beppo joke, isn't it?
it is. They love it every time. They always get it too. Anyway,
Interesting.
well, I just felt like I wanted to share some recommendations with people. Mishima, Life in 4 Chapters, also pretty good. Hero, another film. Just
you had a lot of time on your hands to watch.
well,
these.
it's been a dark, it was it was a long weekend, and it's been a dark time, and I just wanted to,
You needed these to lift you up.
I wanted to spread the genres around. I didn't want to stick with just one genre or just
And you
one
didn't want
theme.
to. You didn't want to watch Michael. That wouldn't have lifted your spirits.
Thematically.
You saw those people dancing. You didn't think you'd be dancing.
I can't bring myself to do it. I suffered through Bohemian Rhapsody. Can't suffer through Michael.
Oscar for best editing.
But for those of you who, we are in kind of like a theatrical doldrums right now. Now you have a list of things.
Now you have 10 super inspiring, non-connected.
Well, I don't know.
films.
They're not all inspiring. They're just some. They're just all again no through thread that I can see. Just good solid filmmaking. Sometimes you need that.
So you're feeling positive about it.
I'm thinking of watching Lincoln tonight. Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. So
Not for him.
So maybe Vantage Point. I don't know. We'll see. No end in sight.
And then end it with Balls Up, and you're good. Would you rather see Balls Up or Michael?
Of course, I'd rather see balls out, balls away, because at least there's like somebody had to sit down and write something. Who knows how many prayer breaks they had to take. Other than that,
They definitely start every day with a prayer. 100%. Well, listen, I can't wait to see which other movies you add to this non-through line list.
Right. You got anything else before we slam head first, like Kool-Aid Man through the brick wall of discourse?
I sent you those clips and I was joking, but I still can't believe that people are dancing like that in theaters. And I shouldn't be surprised because
we
what
live
did
in
I
hell.
expect?
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing, but it's also, I shouldn't say expected, but I guess I shouldn't be like surprised by anything anymore.
I guess I thought it would be more of like a second running in the theater for like maybe like some knockoff, like more cultish showings like Rocky Horror.
Now,
I didn't expect like people to be just in full AMC's opening weekend. Like they're just so excited that they can't control themselves.
yeah, well, I mean, you got to hope that there's no like no screenings of like Hopper Don't Let Out like right next door, or any other film geared towards a certain demographic. None of this dancing is sanctioned, right?
You mean like they're welcoming it?
No, but I'm saying, yeah, like none of these are like paid performers. This is not like special
I don't think so.
presentations of this.
That'd be
film.
really funny if AMC had like dance screenings.
I mean, that does strike me as like a dumb thing that they would try. They've done more backwards things in their past.
Didn't we do an episode on the chicken jockey ones?
That's right. They were going to have special sanctioned like chicken jockey screenings. They pioneered the idea of having that like Megan texting tie-in. You remember that
That's
shit?
right. So yeah, having a dancing viewing of Michael wouldn't be that shocking.
In fact, and let's run the experiment right now before we move on to assaulting the media. Google this right now. Dance along Michael screenings. I bet you there's one out there somewhere. If there's not, maybe there's hope for humanity.
From here until the next episode, we will keep our eyes out for one. Okay, this is the one I wanted to send you. There was one during the thriller scene, which is like the middle of the movie that blew up into a party. But yes, I have not seen a sanctioned one.
Yeah, so this appears to have also turned into a little dance party at the end of the film, and all these wonderful whites are filming it. Well, that's disappointing. I don't understand how so many of these theaters like have these big stages in front of their screens.
Okay, I finally found it. To end this one, I found the clip that I've been trying to find the whole time.
Okay.
Because this one is like, it just happens and then everyone starts joining in. This is an IMAX showing.
But that last clip just answered a question for me, which is that, I was thinking that like maybe people were annoyed by this. Let's see this
Like, I don't
clip.
mind the credits, but this one that I just sent you is the most egregious. See, this is where I want to do the experiment of sending you to the screening without liquor and seeing if you can get through this.
So, yeah, I mean,
Look at this mob.
people are like, okay, oh, it starts with chain reaction, a nightmare chain reaction.
This is the worst because not only are there dancers distracting, but everybody's whipping out their phone now.
Of course, because you know what? It's a place and time, man. It's just like it's a special time to remember, And honestly, where else could you experience this but in this one setting? Like where else are you going to be able to see, listen to, hear, be bombarded by, be continually assaulted by Michael Jackson music for the rest of your life? Where? But here,
any bar that plays Michael Jackson.
motherfucker
Any
didn't make a good
dancing
album
bar.
after Bad. Sorry, fuck you.
Shots fired.
You know
Is
what?
it
Hey, fuck
discology?
it. I'll say you after Thriller. Fuck them. So that's upsetting, but I guess like I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I should expect worse. Again, as long as there's like not a Discovery Zone across the street, whatever, go out there and dance, and we'll wait for the sequel before you stop dancing.
At least you have your movies that you've been watching, and at least we have this podcast.
And you have us to help you cut through the bullshit with this show.
What show? It's
Michael,
ignorant.
what show?
It's ignorant and not ask Michael show. Cascade Time. A show
Michael,
about the pathology of the mind as it pertains to the world of cinema.
Could you do a hee-hee, Michael?
Where we look across the filmic discourse and attempt to restore some sanity. We do this in one or two different ways.
One, by unpacking the ideas and assertions we stumble across out there in the media, be it social or otherwise, while occasionally subjecting ourselves to mysterious media oddities. And two,
By ignorantly spinning the reel of scopophilia.
where we let
Michael, don't say feel, Michael.
Feel.
where we let fate decide on a series of filmic related exercises that are in no way a meaningless or desperate grab for content. Not unlike Michael.
He's always grabbing.
Always grabbing in more ways than one.
Break a young girl's heart. But she came and sit right by me. Till the smell of sweet perfume. It happened but too soon. She got into my room. Yeah. And she, not my love. Woo, she just a girl. Came that I am the one. But the kid is not my son.
Confronting the media.
It's time to confront the media.
Yeah.
Is that like a ska band voice?
It's my Mighty Mighty Boss Tones pre-program module.
Got it.
I don't know. What
Wow.
would you call it? I don't know.
Season 3, we're going for it.
Ska's coming back, right?
I
I feel like that we skipped over that. We went from 80s revival for millennials, and then Gen Z thought that they were bringing grunge back, and then now are we skipping ska and like emo, and are we just going straight?
Is emo coming back? I feel like we're going straight to emo.
Does that mean that my skinny jeans will be cool again?
I never was able to fit into skinny jeans. I was shamed.
Well, how can you jester max without your skinny jeans? How can
I don't know. I
how
also
can you
didn't
mog at
straighten
the
my
club
hair.
without your skinny jeans.
Emo was an interesting phase. I feel like ska's going to get forgotten.
That's okay. Sorry.
I don't know,
Sorry.
man.
Don't mean no
Do you think
offense.
there's some like ska revival band that plays at some bar weekly in LA? There's got to be some ska section of LA.
Well, yes, there definitely is. But I don't think that. I think that the ska bands themselves are still together and playing.
What part of town would you say this ska band would be popular?
That's a good question. I bet there's probably some in the Valley. Well, I mean, famously, Los Feliz. If you saw Swingers, that was the center of. Oh no, that was Swing.
Ska Central?
That was Swing. Whatever.
Much different.
Let's talk about a man whose morals and character have deserted him, or maybe they haven't. That's kind of why I wanted to talk about this.
They have.
We're confronting the media today in kind of a different way. I don't really have a point that I need to rag on here. It's more just this whole exchange with a certain filmmaker named Harmony Korine, who everybody knows.
Well, I was going to pause this because I know of Spring Breakers, but I did not know his background. Kids, which is one of his first
good thing
ones.
that we're doing a movie podcast.
Well, sure, but we're not going to know everybody and everything.
I kid.
But my point is, as somebody who is not familiar with him,
yes.
Can you give me an elevator pitch on who he is and why he's important?
Well,
in entertainment, I should say.
I'll do my best. Harmony Korine, yes, as you mentioned, he started off by writing Kids alongside Larry Clark. Well, he wrote Kids and Larry Clark directed Kids. Kids is a highly controversial film for a good reason, but it was not without its socially aware signaling that was valuable for the time, specifically regarding HIV. But he was 18 when he wrote that, and he's always been a filmmaker that plays the beat of Zone Drum. His first feature that he directed was a movie called Gummo, and he's always done these kind of living in their own vibe experiments. I would say that he's certainly not a mainstream filmmaker. He has abandoned form at every chance that he gets to make a film. He's certainly not interested in the 3-act structure. He's definitely not going to make most film school professors happy.
Is he kind of like Aronofsky light?
No, he's more like if Lynch wasn't smart. or that's not actually fair either. He's kind of his own beast, and because of that, he makes vibe films. Some of his titles include Gummo, Trash Humpers. The famous ones of late, and the ones that people seem to like the most, are Spring Breakers and The Beach Bum, starring Matthew McConaughey. And he's interested in trying to create a lived-in experiences with his films. And I don't necessarily get it. And that will probably ostracize me from a certain filmmaker clique, because he is very popular amongst what I would dub the faux intellectual cinephile. Like, he endears himself to people that want to feel like they've seen an art, but he doesn't really do the legwork to take you there, in my opinion. But I'm jumping the gun on how I feel about the man. He has endeared himself to kind of art house audiences because he definitely breaks with convention and he's not apt to handhold, and he doesn't feel the need to tell a conventional story in a conventional way. And I can appreciate that.
But this has informed me and hopefully our listener to what this article is about, and
so,
what this person is saying.
Yeah, I guess I would have assumed that you knew Harmony Korine because, he does, I think part of the reason that he's kind of considered a cool kids art house director is that he'll get like a hip cast. Or he'll do something that's a little bit off the wall, and he's working with in Spring Breakers is like Franco and I think it was it's Amanda
Selena
Hudgens,
Gomez, Vanessa
Hudgens, and Amanda's whatever name is, and Franco at the time before he was a sex pest, allegedly.
Oh, he was still a sex pest, allegedly.
So while he was in the prime of his pesting,
he was pesting
potentially starring in that. But you got like Goody Main and stuff like that, and like he just recently did like a weird VR movie with like Travis Scott and stuff. So it's like he gets happening. That's right, I said happening. He gets like happening, modern, hip casts. He's not interested in like digging out an old school Hollywood person and revitalizing their career. He's not a Quentin Tarantino by any stretch of the imagination. He doesn't really have a reverie for what is considered to be traditional about Hollywood. And that's kind of what this interview that I found with Steven Zychek in the Hollywood Reporter about Harmony Korine is about. And I just wanted to kind of go through it, kind of get your reaction to certain things. So he's described as a provocateur, and the headline of the article is Harmony Korine avoids books, doesn't see movies, and thinks AI is the art form that holds the most promise. So already we're in for it. Now, this was actually a shock to me that he would be an AI guy. But I guess it shouldn't have been a shock to me that he would like eschew what most people would think makes for an intellectual pursuit because now I can let the cat out of the bag. I've never been on board with Harmony Korine, and I have seen a lot of Blue Sky Film Twitter Blue Sky Film Twitter. What a phrase. Anyway, I've seen a lot of Blue Sky Film Skeeters, also a phrase, kind of like jumping on this bandwagon because that's definitely, I mean, this is like definitely fish food for Blue Sky Skeeters. Like this.
Well, and do you feel like he has just a fervent following, as you mentioned? Like he has.
Well, I don't know
like
how
people just kind of love his
loyal
stuff no matter what.
I don't know how loyal his fan base is because it's like when you look into any given forum that's discussing his work, you'll always hear some variation of this. Oh, X film is my favorite, but all of his other films I think are trash. It's like, well, who really likes it? But then again, people will say that, but they'll go, but I'm also a fan, as if they have to say it for cred. And I don't know what. And I don't mean to sound takey because this is what we're rebelling against on the show is the takes. But I do feel like, I feel like for some reason he just got shoehorned into the position of cool kid art house, and it just feels like he's the perfect filmmaker for anybody, be they a novice cinephile or an advanced cinephile, to go, you just don't get it if you don't like it. And you can't really refute it because it is such a tone situation with so many of the movies he's doing. He is such a vibe creator that, and by the way, I'm a person who likes vibe and tone. Like I love David Lynch, and David Lynch is guilty of abandoning story structure and stuff. But it's like I get the sense that there's a thematic unity that I don't get with Harmony Korine.
Well, so I'm gonna quickly go on a tangent here because it's reminding me of a band that I feel is hitting this a bit.
A band,
and maybe a band. Okay, and maybe I just don't get this band, but I feel like this is the equivalent of Geese.
You have just, all the Gen Z audience just slammed their laptops. They're not on laptops.
But I feel like it is
frisbeed their iPhones into the sea. Geese, I at least think there's some fun to be had there. There's some melodic.
Yes.
There's some melodic coherence to be enjoyed, and I actually don't dislike that band. So I'm the wrong person.
No, I don't dislike them either, but what I'm equating it to is if somebody first listens to Geese on just the first listen, you're going to be kind of all over the place because it's kind of all over the place. It doesn't mean there's not a through line, but the instant reaction of if you said that to somebody who is a fan, the instant reaction would be like, well, you just don't understand it.
You might be challenged by it, by the material, and for good or for ill, and if you don't have glowing things to say consistently, then yeah, you might get attacked. And I agree with that. I don't know if I would call Harmony Korine the geese of filmmakers, but I understand.
It sounds like that'd be disparaging to geese, if anything.
Well, most people would celebrate Harmony Korine's catalog of films. But again, it's kind of like you dive deep in what people say about them, and they all kind of say the same thing, like, oh, I love Trash Humpers, but I thought all the rest of his movies were fucking crazy and shitty, but I still love him. It's like, you're like, well, why? You've named one thing. I feel like people feel like they have to defend his work. And by the way, it's not like there's nothing there. He does create a vibe for you to live in, and you do feel swept up in it, even if you're not enjoying it or it doesn't connect to you. But I don't think the juice is particularly worth the squeeze. I personally think that he's a little bit vapid, and that his sense of filmmaking and the stories that he's interested in telling are self-indulgent, if I'm being polite. He's not for me. That doesn't mean that I think that he's devoid of talent. But let's go through some of these things he had to say to The Hollywood Reporter. They start in with, Harmony Korine doesn't do anything by the book. In fact, he doesn't even read books. The iconoclastic Gomo and Spring Breakers director may be associated with earlier eras of outre cinema, but provocateurs never go away. They are just reborn as immersive artists using the latest LLMs. And then they go into the actual interview itself. So what books have you read recently? Oh, I haven't read a book in, 2 or 3 decades. Have you seen any movies that you've liked? Sinners? Weapons? No, I didn't see those. I watched Smoking the Bandit recently. What did I go see last year? Pauses to remember. I saw Smurfs 2. Rihanna Smurfs. I saw that. I look at the list of nominations for awards, and I've only heard of 1 or 2 of them. I don't know why that is. I used to live in the movie theaters. Now I don't even know who these people are. You've also been producing far fewer films, working instead in a kind of post-cinematic space. Yes, more post-narrative, sensory, experimental kinds of entertainment. And AI? Yes, of course. Many filmmakers say it's push-button and regurgitative, and they have plenty of evidence, though your AI work definitely contains a distinct vision. What do you say to those who argue the only thing it can really create is slop? Just synthesize what's already been done? I think it's the very beginning. We're just at the point of understanding what we're capable of with it, and then there's a world where the aesthetics take over and we use it in a way that's not really about the ideal of realism, but turning it into something more transcendent and experimental and beyond a simple narrative articulation. It's the idea of adapting it as a tool or a paintbrush. Of course, nobody wants AI slop, but that's not what it'll be. AI slop works well for social and for really short-form content, but the idea people are chasing now is there's a way to add emotion. So what I didn't include from the beginning of the article is they have explained
My amount of eye rolls as I read this.
that too. Korine has a studio called Edgelord. Pronounce it that way. It's spelled
isn't it missing one of the
LRD. He's going all in on AI, baby.
It's almost like he's invested in it, so he's pushing for it.
But the thing is, okay, so first of all, and we've covered this territory before. You know, Millie Bobby Brown had a thing where she's like, oh, I don't watch movies. I don't watch the movies I'm in. That's fucking stupid. Like, movies are for idiots. This guy's a filmmaker who loves being heralded as one of the great filmmakers. I mean, what do you make of that when you hear somebody say, I just don't watch
They only watch Smurfs?
anything?
I mean, the whole book thing is... I'm going to tackle both of them. The book stuff is so pretentious in itself. Like, do I have time to read as many books as I want? Yes, but do I say that I don't read books anymore? No. This guy is clearly trying to make provocative statements to make him sound... Again, this is upon first reading, to make him sound like he's some higher being of learning. And as far as the movie thing, I look at the list of nominations for awards and I've only heard of 1 or 2 of them. That's not because of anything other than your interest has waned and you don't partake in it. That doesn't mean that these movies aren't being promoted or they aren't featuring people that are in the zeitgeist now. You're just making a blanket statement saying that it's not important anymore, not the true kind of art, when that's not really the case. You just want to try and make some weird statement that you're above all of this or you're past all of this. It just doesn't add up.
I think that's fair. let's read a little bit more and see. The anti-AI set, the Guillermo del Toro's and other directors and plenty of our readers as well, would say that you can never really achieve that. I don't understand how anyone can say they're anti something that's potentially creative. If it's not working for you today, it could work for you a year from now. Soon conversations like that won't even matter. It's like discussing the internet. It already is. But I also think that you should not even try to use it to imitate moves or traditional narratives of classic IP. It's a losing battle. Use the instrument to create your own form, its own logic, its own world. Meaning we're getting thrown off because people are trying to map AI into traditional art forms? I don't want to be a spokesman for AI, but personally, I'm trying to create something in a specific way, something that moves beyond traditional media or content. And what are the bounds of that? Are we heading to a world where even we can share cinema telepathically? I feel like even leading with technology is a disservice. That part should almost come last. If you're leading with how it gets made, people will be skeptical. If you're trying to use it to win an argument, you will lose. These things have to work on their own. Well, so sorry, I cut you off, but I just want to get. I want to keep it getting. I just want to be in Harmony's head. His name's Harmony, by the way.
I'm going to say he keeps pushing against this notion from the interviewer that AI is just something you prompt and you regurgitate from previous prompts or from things it's learning. Even if you're creating something new, it is not new. It's existed before, and you're just kind of slopping shit on top of other slop, and it's not really a revelation of new art. And he keeps pushing against this by saying, well, that's the case now, but who knows what it will be. And it's dumb to say it can't get there. But he provides no evidence or roadmap or anything to the reader on how AI is going to be a new wave of creativity, of organic creativity. He just keeps saying that, oh, well, it's not there now, but it will. There's this pretentiousness that he knows beyond what is out there, but with no evidence.
Well, so we were talking about how he feels like it's not essential to be up with what is current cinematically, and he's talking about what AI can do and, you know, what it's capable of. To me, just like immediately, without even finishing the article, I had already felt like I had struck upon this deep hypocrisy, which is that even if Harmony, his name's Harmony, even if Harmony doesn't watch those films, the AI does. And so you can be ignorant of that. But this tool, this paintbrush that you're talking about, that you're going to use to paint this dreamscape, isn't going to do it without being grounded in thousands, if not tens of thousands of films that you've never encountered, you know? And to me, the inherent hypocrisy in that is like what makes the rest of what he has to say about this so odious to me. Do you think it does right now? Talking about the technology. For me, it does. My interest is pretty visual. It's like, wow, I can sit at home and animate and make cartoons. It comes from a very creative place. Technology has started to parallel my dreams. There's something immediate, its own form, not a top-down language, but the magic of creating something new. It's the thing I've been chasing my whole life. It's what comes after everything. It's feeling, emotion, something beyond logic. Well, I can't disagree with the beyond logic part. The interview says, I do feel when you watch AI movies, the stuff actually being made with tools, that it does have a little bit of a surrealist, post-rational aesthetic. At the Runway AI Film Festival last June, of all the movies that gave away that kind of feeling, it felt like they existed in an alternate dream world. Absolutely. It's a sense of almost digital drugs. Is there a way to have entertainment that's a kind of emotional vibration? It's the idea of cinema that you can basically be inside. Now, this is consistent with, I will say, with Harmony Korine's oeuvre. Because that is the kind of film he likes to make. But the problem with that is that movie making is collaborative. It just sounds like Harmony Korine doesn't want it to be collaborative anymore. He wants it all to come straight out of his brain. This lends me to what is so grating about hearing him talk about this stuff. You're talking to a narcissist here. Yeah. You're talking to somebody who doesn't value the collaborative aspects of filmmaking.
Because he does everything.
Right. Well, so for example, the interviewer asks him, there are plenty of indie filmmakers who say there are always new rules to be broken within the form. You don't have to cross media. Do you think they have a point? And he says, I mean, those people exist, and they can spend their life doing that if they want to. That's up to them. I've been making films since I was a little kid, and all I saw was Hollywood gatekeeping, and I never wanted to be a part of that. I just wanted to sit in a room and do everything I could to understand my own imagination with no dilution. And if you look back at so much of what we think is conventional entertainment, they were also radical in their time, and people were so upset. But after time, people consume them, and you can see them everywhere. What do you think about that?
First off, it just sounds like this guy's going to be locked in his room typing to prompts for the rest of his life, and the world's just going to pass him by. Like, this guy just feels like all he needs is a room and a laptop, and this guy's going to make 100 Mona Lisas.
Do you get the sense that if somebody used AI and basically said, hey, take Trash Humpers, which is one of his films that's particularly grating, and just add aliens and robots, and don't call it Trash Humpers, call it Servo Flexors, and set it in fucking Arkansas. And then we'll just say this a Harmony Korine film, and put it online. Do you think Harmony, his name's Harmony, by the way. Do you think Harmony Korine would like that?
I mean, no, because, further down, they talk about the sequel to Spring Breakers, and he's like, I don't give a fuck. Spring Breakers was a hit in the theaters when it came out, and it's kind of gotten a cult following, and I didn't know that there was a sequel being made, but apparently there is one with Bella Thorne, and they asked him about it, and he basically was like, I did what I wanted to do. I really don't see the point in them doing that, but it's not in my control. And they asked him if he was going to watch it. He said no. And so to answer your question, to me, it doesn't bother him if somebody regurgitates his own art to make something that they like, because he, in his opinion, he is so above all of that, and he is so beyond all that. And all these little people can twiddle their thumbs and regurgitate art through AI. I'm going to be making new art and organic art and stuff that people have never seen. But AI in itself will always be a tool that is using from the past, like you said.
Right. So yeah, even if it gets to that point where it's like beyond this language learning model shit. And by the way, we've done plenty of AI stories on this podcast. We're not like necessarily an anti-AI podcast per se. I mean, I think that it's mostly gross. I definitely don't want to see it in the shit that I go to see. I want handcrafted films only. But I'm not gonna be such a Luddite that I'm like, there will never be a use for any of this stuff. I feel the need to say that because we harp on it a lot, but it's just the way, to me, it's the attitude that surrounds it. And to me, this perfectly encapsulates it. In fact, I feel like in the future, when we're talking about AI, I will keep coming back to this interview because the hypocrisy involved is so stark that you just kind of have to be living in denial a little bit to accept what he's saying. Because, so first of all, going to like the Hollywood gatekeeping stuff, yes, he definitely broke in an unconventional way at a very early age. But he's also making films with the fucking Mouseketeers, with Vanessa Hudgens and Selena Gomez and James Franco and like people that were like child star adjacent or just purely child star who Hollywood did open its legs for. Wow. And like, that did happen to a lot of these people, or they were in that position. To say that you are like beyond like this Hollywood gatekeeping thing is silly because you are part of that process just by virtue of casting who cast. It's not as if Matthew McConaughey is like this lesser known actor or whatever. On top of that, this idea that like eventually AI is going to become this perfect paintbrush that can just create whatever dreamscape you provide it. You have to look at the backs of the things that was built on, because, and that's the thing, it doesn't work if it can't do that right now. Now maybe eventually they come up with what's called general AI that can kind of think for itself and do its own thing, but we're not there, and a lot of people think we'll never be there. But let's say we get there, then you're talking about a whole different thing. Then it's almost like you're talking about working with a collaborator. But as it exists now, have you ever been at a party and somebody corners you and wants to talk to you about Bitcoin all night or like crypto all night?
But I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
This feels like somebody who just like is just gone all in on a tech and is abandoning their ideals or their principles because they think that they can be on the front line of something.
Or was this always who he was, and now he just has a conduit or a tool?
It could be. I mean, he's done other things that were kind of like inaccessible, but like innovative nonetheless. I talked about the Travis Scott movie, this film called Aggro Drift, which was kind of like a trippy assassin film that like plays out like a video game, and there's like apparently there's like some kind of interactive element of it, and like and nobody likes it, and yet for some reason like until like this interview, people have been like, well, he's an artist.
I mean, the thing is, the moment you realize that he has invested his own money into this, the hypocrisy of this leaps off the page. It's almost like he's trying to hide the fact that he is financially invested in this.
Sure.
And it's just a artistic venture for him. And it could be both, but I tried to find a reason why. Like, why did the Hollywood Reporter interview him?
Well,
does he have a new movie coming out? Does he have?
No,
is he
no.
promoting anything?
I think
So
that
it's almost like he wants to start talking about this stuff, and the Hollywood Reporter was like, "Oh, okay, he's available. We'll do an interview," and he's like pushing this now. Like,
well,
I can't imagine the Hollywood
recently,
Reporter just reached out to him.
I think in their article they say that he recently did this kind of project for something called the Miami Design. He's also a Florida guy, by the way. His name's Harmony, by the way. But like, so apparently he's got like his company Edgelord. They have a deal with some firm called Runway, and it just seems like that's maybe the news that they are kind of breaking and diving into. But it's also just kind of at contrast with like this rebellious streak that he seemed to have had. Because like, again, maybe that's the final thing I will just leave off on here. To be all in on AI, and again, like I'm not purely anti-AI, but to be all in,
it's not rebellious. It's not rebellious.
Right. To be all in is like as counter rebel as you can be. And now maybe he thinks he's like wresting control from Hollywood. And like, don't get me wrong, I love the idea of like independent filmmakers creating their own ecosystem where you can cut Hollywood out. Although we're kind of seeing how that looks, and it's not as enjoyable or clean as it might seem like it is.
No.
And not only that, are there Hollywood gatekeepers? Of course. I fucking bounce against them, like in my own career. I've worked in television forever. It's like, if I just want to like start working in features tomorrow, do you know how many steps back I'm going to have to take? How many like doors I'm going to have to reopen? And like, so I understand that is a thing, but the idea that I would want to like subvert the collaborative process to kind of like jerk off with my video card it's just like to feel like you're there already at this stage, which is to say nothing of the fact that to get to the place he's talking about where like, oh yeah, we can telekinetically dream up a masterpiece and just throw it out in the ether. Well, first of all, if everyone can do that, the disambiguation of films will destroy that process. And maybe it already is. I mean, we've all seen like what social media has done to movies. But I don't think he's considering that stuff. You read this and it's like, yes, we can create dreamscapes. And it's like, sure, I guess everybody might be able to create a dreamscape. Like, what's going to make it special then?
But yeah, okay, you make a little dreamscape for your screensaver for your laptop. What is that?
No, but it's true artistic expression. Do you see? Do you see?
What is normal filmmaking then? Not true art.
It's crap. It's Hollywood gatekeeping. It's just a bunch of Teamsters and fucking celebrities standing around an overpriced
It sounds like
crafty
nobody
table.
wants to work with you, and you can't get the funding for any of your work.
No, you don't
it's just
understand.
easier for you.
You understand. I went to the crafty table on my last film, and I wanted a burrata meatloaf saffron infused sandwich, and they only had Parmesan, veal saffron infusion, and I just feel like that is inhibiting my dream space. I need a broader brush. I need a technological broad brush. But you know what? Put the technology
You
aside.
need to type in your thoughts and have them create it for you.
That's the other thing that bothers me about this. He's like, let's just forget the technology. It's like, well, you can't. Like, I'm sorry, but you can't. You might want to forget the technology. Yeah, I'm sure it's like you created your special dream space.
But he didn't create it.
The
The technology did.
Special dream space, and it's just
Oh, harmony! I didn't know you had a mic.
Yes, can you hear the harmonies?
Yes.
And my name's Harmony, by the way. And I can create a dream space, and and that's it. I just create it. It doesn't come from.
But how do you
anything.
create it, harmony?
Well, with my mind.
But that's not how AI works.
No, that's it. You think about it, and then it just becomes.
So you don't type anything.
What do you mean type? What is typing? That's technology. I don't acknowledge technology.
Is that typing is gatekeeping? My bad.
Typing is a form of technological gatekeeping, and it's okay. You can be one of those people that dedicates your life to using technology to get things done. I'm gonna use AI.
But AI is technology.
No,
Harmony.
it's a telepathic link that I have with the ether. Don't you see?
Do you have a cable connected from your head to a computer right now? I'm gonna take that silence as a yes.
I'm an artist.
Harmony. I feel like
My
you're.
name's Harmony, by the way. No, you see, I know that there is some element of technology, and I want to be able to create my dreamscapes without the idea that I'm burning down 20 hectares of Amazonian rainforest every 30 seconds that I use it. But one day, it'll all be
Harmony.
a paintbrush.
Harmony, do you just care about that? What this is about?
Paintbrush. My name's Harmony, by the way.
You wouldn't have to have a new company that you want to make money off of, would you?
Oh, you wouldn't be. You couldn't possibly be talking about Edgelord. No, nothing like that.
Edgelord?
Nothing like that. No,
What?
nothing like that. No. I have to go watch Smurfs 3. Rihanna's not in this one, but I heard that they used AI to render Papa Smurf's chest hair. So I have to go now.
All right, have fun, Harmony.
Okay, I enjoy Spring Breakers too. I'll never see it. There he
Sounds like a
goes.
very nice, humble man.
Well, you have to be humble to have these breakthrough ideas. So I'm glad for Harmony. I just wanted to expose people, I guess, to the way that this guy's brain works. So now we know.
Now we know his name is Harmony.
He doesn't read, which is a shocker, and he doesn't watch movies.
Except Smurfs.
These are the people who are dreamweaving the future. So good.
Well, maybe we're wrong. Maybe we're the ones. that are wrong.
Certainly.
Harmony gets it.
His name's Harmony, by the way. Okay, well, that'll have to do. I just wanted to expose people to the harmonious world of dreamweaving. But let's move on. We got a reel to spin. We got some
We
reels
gotta
to
spin it.
and leaves tomorrow behind. Oh, Dreamweaver, I believe you can get me through the night. My Dreamweaver, I believe we can reach the morning light.
We can still spin the reel. I can do that manually.
Crank it.
No, it's everybody's favorite. Oh boy,
Definitely our favorite.
this movie good, that movie bad.
Love it.
It really is my favorite of the things that we do. It gets us closer to the film going public. I think we need to do that as a show.
And that's our goal, really, to get close to you guys.
It's our
very
goal,
close.
and it's our goal to help you, to help you help each other.
And for you to help us, because
Mhm.
maybe we're just not reviewing these films.
Which is,
correctly.
yeah, and this segment is always an education. And so for those who don't remember, This Movie Good, That Movie Bad is a segment where one of us chooses a good movie we've watched, the other chooses a bad movie we've watched, and we look across the internet reviewscape for the best reviews for what we might describe as a bad movie and the worst reviews for what we might describe as a good movie. We seem to have lost track of who did what when. I think the last time you did a bad movie. So I think that I will do one this time. I'm just gonna say it, unless you feel strongly about doing a bad one.
No, I'll do a good movie.
Okay. Because I feel like I have one locked and loaded in my chamber. Do you have a good movie
I
that
do as
comes
well.
to brain? Okay, well...
I just watched one the other night that I will use as the example.
Okay, well, why don't you tell me? Well, here, I'll tell you what my bad movie is, and it's not like the world's worst stinker or anything. It's just it was just an unsuccessful film. But we're not here to review. This is just a segment. It's all for funsies. But I watched The Materialist or The Materialist.
I still have not seen it. but I've heard mixed.
You need not see it to participate in this exercise.
I I can assume, knowing you, where there might be a divergent
Well,
gap,
but you,
but we'll see.
my thoughts about the film are not that unique. It has been pretty panned, especially in wake of Past Lives, which everybody jerked until it couldn't see anymore.
I did. I admit I did.
And I did too, to an extent, and that I was like, oh, it's so
Just not as
unique.
fervently. Just a light jerking.
Well, honestly, what I saw in The Materialist almost made me rethink the positive feelings that I had for Past Lives.
Oh no!
If
no,
only
definitely
because
not
it's just
seeing
so unsuccessful at the story it's trying to tell. Celine Song did a very good film, and then she's done what I would consider to be quite ungood. And going into Materialists, like people were already without having seen it, like putting it on like their top 10 movie of the year, and then like having to backtrack and stuff. Anyway,
I think people fell in love with the trailer, but either way,
I've digressed too much. The Materialist is what I would consider a bad movie. Maybe people disagree. I wouldn't hate you for being a supporter of the film, but for all intents and purposes, we're gonna treat it like a bad film for this exercise. Okay, I'm sorry, that's way too much prompting. What is your good film?
I threw this on the other night because you and Natalie both have spoke highly of it, and I've been waiting for it to be on any platform, and it was finally on something, and it was The Apprentice.
The Apprentice, 2024's
the
Donald Trump
Sebastian Stan
biopic.
Yes, and it was a very odd choice, especially with what is happening in our world now. But I still had wanted to see it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought that it made me highly respectful of Sebastian Stan. Not that I wasn't before, but I thought he was awesome in it. I thought Jeremy Strong was awesome in it. I thought it was just a very clever film. Didn't pull any punches. I mean, it could have probably hit a lot more, but I thought that it was a well-made film, and
I'm kind of shocked that it's allowed to exist on the platform that it's streaming on right now, considering on the platform streaming on. No, we don't want to talk about that. But
I am curious. I mean, this movie is going to get, I'm sure the reviews that you will come across when we take our break are going to be very subtle and not intense at all. But
and I'm realizing now, like, we have just given each other a trunk to unload review wise, because it's going to be hard for you to find like non-misogynist bad reviews of The Materialist, probably. And it's going to be hard for me to find any reviews of The Apprentice that aren't just based on like politics. But you know what? That's not how this segment works. This segment works about finding the diamonds in the rough, the special takes. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take 15 to 20 minutes right now. We're going to go look for some of those takes as quickly as possible. We'll be back to share them with you. You won't even know. It's like getting anesthesia for surgery. You're going to close your eyes, and the next thing you know, you'll be back awake in the land of the living. We're back. Yes, we did it. This was tough.
Yes. I feel like yours are going to be a little bit more braggadocious. So maybe
do you want to start?
I'll
you want to go start? Okay.
Maybe I'll start.
Why don't you go?
So this was actually a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. There are a couple of reasons. I'm not fluent in Spanish. I forgot that Pedro Pascal is in this.
Oh,
and there are a lot of
yeah.
5-star reviews of Spanish speakers giving 5-star reviews. So there's a whole conglomerate of reviews that I could not read.
That's fine.
So there was that one.
But and before you dive into it, I just want to offer up like a steel man argument for like what people might have to say about this film, because like I do think that like I've heard smart people try to make the argument that this is like a movie about the commodification of dating and relationships and treating people as a quantity to be traded, and literally in the film they call each other stock.
So that was kind of what I was going to prompt you is what were your feelings on the film?
Right. Well, so I'm going through what I'm trying to steel man the film, what I think that it thinks it's doing. So I think it does think it's doing that. I think it's trying to make a case for like what a passionate, loving relationship looks like versus a, as it is in the title, materialistic relationship. It tries to toy with the idea of what a woman with full agency in a modern setting looks like when they aren't being vilified for being choosy between those two extremes. And then I think that it's trying to kind of explore like what it means to be masculine in a modern dating setting. I think that it fails at all of those things. I think that it touches on some of those things and kind of like through some of these, there's a few conversations that are interesting, but it almost felt like Celine Song was scratching the surface of these ideas without actually having anything to say about them. Whereas like within Past Lives, it's kind of like, oh, well, look, there can be this romance, this passionate relationship, or maybe not even passionate, but this potential relationship that will haunt you even as you have matured into a healthy relationship with somebody that you love and have decided to share your life with. And she succeeds at examining what that looks like. Whereas all those other things I just mentioned, I think the movie scratches at that stuff and never lands at doesn't even really raise the question that sophisticatedly, in my opinion.
There was a lot of reviews on people just saying they loved the film because Chris Evans was so hot. So I avoided a lot of that because there's no substance to it. I'm just going to go into it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 5 stars. I went into this expecting a classic rom-com. Boy, was I wrong, but in the best way. It kept my attention because the usual tropes weren't there, and therefore it wasn't predictable. And Celine Song really has an incredible moving way to depict the human experience of how and why we connect to people. She has you examining your whole world of dating and what we look for in a partner and why. I am truly captivated by her stories and filmmaking. I feel anything less than a 5-star review means they didn't get it. I love this movie.
Okay, well, so you went for you looked for a serious one.
People just love this because they think
I do realize that I gave you a hard assignment after I told you what I watched, but because I was going to give you Wicked for Good, that probably would have been easier. But,
yeah, that would have been way easier.
But I also only watched because like somebody
I'm surprised you threw that on.
Well, I didn't. A friend of ours had a screener of it and was watching it, and I was doing my best to try and get drunk and not pay attention, but eventually everyone in the room got quiet and watched the thing. You know when that happens? You're just kind of like, I can't keep talking about whatever the fuck I'm droning on about. And I made about 3/4 and went, well, I gotta wrap this up. So I can't say that I feel like I've honestly like watched the whole thing. So it wouldn't have been morally upstanding to do such to give it to you. Okay, well, I can't like definitively say that person's wrong, other than I just think that the things that they're talking about weren't successful. I will say that like in terms of like the conventional rom-com thing, yeah, it's not conventional. That's true, but I don't think that necessarily means good. I mean, that's like saying I went to a sci-fi movie and there was nothing scientific about it. There was like magic and ghosts and wizards and dragons, but it's pretty unconventional for a sci-fi movie. It's like, yeah, that's true. You didn't see a sci-fi movie. Now, in this case, I won't say that there wasn't any kind of romantic comedy element to it. So it's not quite an apples to oranges comparison, but that's just leaving off of the didn't get it thing. It's like, yeah, I mean, we can see what the movie's grasping for and just disagree that it achieves that shit.
I mean, I haven't seen the movie, and I'm pretty sure I give a prompt of what the plot is, and I would get it without even seeing one frame of it.
Sure. Okay.
This one is titled "Great Really Czech Movie."
Great really Czech movie. Like like Czechoslovakian?
It should be Great Really, Czech Movie. Like check the movie out, but it's not.
I see. Like CHECK. Okay. I thought you meant like Czechoslovakian movie.
No. Great Czech Movie. Yeah. Okay. No. It's also marked spoiler, which doesn't make sense. Wow, this is masterpiece. This is masterpiece.
It is masterpiece.
From the first minute is so real. The guy who said he didn't like 40-year-old overweight women, 2 minutes later, this matchmaker in public speech promises if a girl asks for a 6-foot-tall drink of water in his 40s with salary over 500 grand and good hairline, you deliver. 1 minute later in private conversation, I'm afraid there's not a single man in New York City that will date this girl. Period.
Yeah, I'm always looking at Dakota Johnson and thinking like that's just an undateable woman, just always thinking that, and always thinking like when I see her, it always conjures to me typical people that aren't living in Hollywood that don't have access to millions and millions of dollars of skincare regimens and personal trainers and personal chefs and, coming from royalty, celebrity wise, and having had millions of dollars to make themselves look like $1 million. But yeah. Cody Johnson. I guess I'm not quite sure what the point they're trying to make there is. But you know what? Maybe it's best just to leave it there. Okay.
5 stars.
Yeah.
This movie is brilliant if you pay attention.
Okay.
The specificity, the patience, the clarity. Ignore the negative press. How can you see past lives and not realize that Celine Song knows exactly what she's doing? We are fools to nitpick. She's one of our great artists and close attention must be paid. I wish I owned a studio and could just let her do whatever she wants without restrictions. Gracious acting and lovely design as well. Well done, everyone.
What part of the material list did this person see and think that like it was on leash? Like, she got to do what she wanted. And it's not like the critical reception was that crazy. Like, I think the aggregator scores are like around 70%. I mean, you're just a stan. I can't help you move past that. I mean, if somebody can do
press. I hope she gets her own studio.
I hope that she gets to weave
Harmony.
in AI Dreamscape with Harmony. His name's Harmony, by the way.
5 stars. It is the only movie I not want to watch again since it's too sad. So he's saying he doesn't want to watch it again.
Sad is not what I left with it from. Okay.
But still, it is a very well-written movie about real love. I have been on dating sites for far too long and have had enough of the pains and pleasures that come along until real love hits us. Playing with minds and bodies, we do forget we are humans, and ultimately, no matter how much smarter we become after every breakup, we still get closer to finding the love of our life, who'd be our one and only, the last one, quote unquote, hopefully.
Oh, wow. Well, that's presumptuous of you, sir. You can find the perfect soulmate, and things can always go wrong. They can always go wrong. You can meet the very best woman.
5 stars.
Okay.
so good. This movie was so good. Usually I cannot sit through an entire movie without getting distracted and walking away at least 3 to 4 times.
Who can?
But I was sat for this.
Damn.
I have not watched a movie this good with this type of vibe in a while.
This movie was romance mogging. I'm trying to meet you children with your vocabulary in the middle here.
Is romance maxing something?
Probably. I don't know. Shouldn't it? If it's not, we coined it, and we own all the subsidiary rights to whatever merch you create off of it. No, okay. Well, I mean, like everybody's got they've got feelings. They're feeling. I just can't see anybody like seeing themselves in any of this, but that's fine. That's fine.
He was sad for it. Last one. 10
Okay.
out of 10. It's titled "Give a Proper Discussion About Love Relations."
Mm-hmm.
Giving a proper discussion about love relations.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not a real art director, or just a director or a rival to the producer or the director of the movie, I don't understand why non-producer, just consumer people mark such a movie low. What do you expect? A movie to give a magic stick touch to your miserable lives?
Magic stick?
Solution about your relationships? They are there just to tell about other stories for you. Think about it and find your own way. Love.
Well, I
10
mean,
out of 10.
I do think that people do see the genre. I will say that the movie was badly marketed because it is kind of marketed as a romantic comedy. And while I would say that like people should maybe try to read some context into what the things that they're saying, I could see. I think it's okay for somebody.
Are you just expecting a movie to give a magic stick touch to your miserable life?
The magic stick touch sounds like a highly inappropriate product placement that you might
That's just
hear
non-producer, just consumer people talk.
See, that's the thing, though. I did expect the magic stick touch from this film, particularly because it's starring like Dakota Johnson, Pedro Pascal, and Chris Evans. So it's like, basically all of the people that saw it, their problem was that they're not art directors.
Art directors, or just a director, or a rival to
Well,
a
no,
producer.
that's the problem. Everyone that saw it is just a director. They're just a director, but not an art director.
Not art director.
Right. So that would skew your score if you're just a regular director saying this. I can see how you give it.
It sounds like you just didn't get this movie.
I didn't have the magic stick touch. I'm just a regular director, and I thought it was
You just
only
had a regular stick touch,
thought it was
not a magic
only
one.
that's true. There's some stick touching going on. Whoa, edgelord.
There's some stick touching in the movie I handed you.
Well, there's some stick forcing, unfortunately. Very, very unfortunately. What are you to do?
Yep.
In fact, so we'll just right off the bat. There's a very triggering event in the film. I tried to navigate around people who saw that and just went, "I'm triggered," because that's a valid thing to feel.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people that were like, "Great film, Trump's gross," and it's like, of course he is. Like, you don't. I tried to avoid that. Because that was the majority of the negative reviews were that. They were like, this was pretty good. I couldn't stand this man. Like, it's like, yeah, that's fine. That's fair.
Yes.
And I actually don't
Kind
think
of
that
the
that
point.
invalidates the criticism. I think it's pretty far afield from what the movie's about. What would you say the movie's about?
I think you can make this movie or watch this movie and change the names of the two characters, and the themes and the story and the arcs of those two characters still applies and still can be applicable to just a normal story of corruption, greed, con artists, and kind of the quote unquote American dream and doing what it takes to make a name for yourself in this world. Especially in a world where technology was advancing, where the political climate and the economy were shifting. And I think that again, you can take Trump's name off of it, you can take Roy Cohn's name off of it, and
Well, you
it
can, you
just be
can't.
a story about.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with
Sure,
those.
but
I agree with what you're saying, but I think that there's another element to it here. But we can get into that.
Well, I think it's most away from the Trump part of it. It's a story, like I said, about loss of morals to gain more power, and it does that very well. And then yeah, you add the twist of or the little seasoning of that it's Trump, and it has a lot more to say. But
Okay.
yeah, that would be my
Okay.
little pitch on what it is.
I have some slightly different feelings about it, but I think those things are also true. It's it's a uniquely American story about the banality of failing upwards. Well, so first I wanted to touch on some accidental praise that I stumbled across it. So this person gives it 0 stars. This is from Letterboxd. Amirius watched this on election night, 2024.
Oh no.
And said
Why?
if the Wolf of Wall Street was made using stock footage, this is what you would get. And I just wanted to highlight that as accidental praise because
Yeah.
I actually think that would be pretty cool. I would watch the shit out of that movie. Okay,
That's a good one.
but let's getting into the media discussions here. So this was a letterbox review by Bob. I've made it 30 minutes in. I've seen plenty. I don't know what else I should have expected except for the intentional or unintentional humanization of the man, like all biopics would. I didn't expect, though, this odd look to the camera work and character interactions. It feels like The Office in some spots, and that's amusing to me. I want to start with that it's well made. The aesthetic, especially the acting, is incredible. Sebastian is uncanny as Trump, and nobody knows how to play fucked up Wall Street guys like Kendall Roy. Maria as Ivanka was an incredible choice, and she plays her too well. Would love to see her working more in better roles. That being said, it only scrapes the surface of the atrocities and horrors of the characters being featured. So as a hit piece, it's lacking. And just talking about who he became isn't adding enough value to justify watching or creating this. Don't bother watching this. If you really want to see some certain moments, just watch YouTube clips. And you'll save yourself a lot of trouble.
Woo. Okay, there's a lot.
That's the most complicated one I have here.
There's a lot of directions I can go with this, so I'm just going to spew out
Sure, just spew.
all of them. It's not bad to acknowledge that somebody could have started off with some morals, even somebody as deplorable as. And that's not to say that what happens in the movie is real or not real. He had some sort of conscience at some point, but for a story to depict a character arc like that doesn't make it unwatchable. So that's one thing. Praising actors in their roles and then saying that you wish they did better roles doesn't make sense.
Well, also, if you're
so
going to give it 0 stars.
Yeah, and then saying that the camera work or the choices of how the film is shown, you don't like that, but then saying that it's well made doesn't really make sense. Also, where is he getting the office part of this? They're not looking at the camera.
I
Talking to
mean,
the
there's some
camera.
handheld stuff.
But then that would mean that any Paul Greengrass movie is like The Office.
They're exactly the same. Yeah.
So, yeah.
This is just clearly a person that's confused. This is not the most unhinged of reviews, but I wanted to mention this one because there is a lot of this sentiment. I saw it a lot. The performances are great, shot really well, and it just shouldn't have been made. And like I just kept coming across that over and over again. It's like, well, you just highlighted like 5 different reasons why it should have been made. So it's like,
Yes.
it's so anyway. Okay, so that's one. This must be an IMDb review, and they say D-. I hated this. Get that man off my screens. Even presenting the monster that he is, I just hated it. Always two there are the Sith, and they will always destroy each other.
I mean,
Always two there are the Sith.
I get what he's getting at, and like that part of it, like, yeah, you're
first
hating
of all,
a movie by getting across a point that it's kind of nailing.
Yes, you're saying like this movie illustrated perfectly to me why it should exist and the story it's trying to tell, and I don't
But I hated
understand why it exists or the story it's trying to tell.
It's almost like people don't understand that there's a reason why we study the horrors of history, and it might be grotesque and hard to view and
Sure,
something
sure.
that you don't want to watch all the time, but there's a necessity to it.
But also, always two Sith there are. They always destroy each other. I'm pretty sure
is that
that's
a
not
saying
the
that
quote.
people say?
No, I'm pretty sure. Well, he's quoting Star Wars,
Sure,
but
I
he's
got that
doing
with the
he's
Sith.
doing a bad job at it.
Always, maybe does Yoda say that? Maybe
Maybe
because he's talking in Yoda phrase.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it goes down.
Always two Siths there are.
Okay, S. Johnson 14 says, not one good thing to say about this movie.
Okay.
This movie was genuinely made to demonize one of our presidents. Semi-inaccurate biographical drama. 0.5 out of 5. First of all, this movie is genuinely made to demonize one of our presidents.
Yes.
I'm glad that they spelled that out for us because I thought that this was an indictment of all of our presidents.
It also
Turns out it's just an indictment of one of them.
it also just scratches the surface on shit that is out there already for people to read and to know.
Well, first of all, much of this like is taken from real life transcripts, court transcripts, allegedly, whatever. Although some of it really was just adjudicated in court, but whatever. That's not for me to decide. We live in hell. But so he ends by saying semi-inaccurate biographical drama. Let's just pretend that like 30% of the things that happen in this movie are real. I don't know. I don't see how you watch that and go, they shouldn't have said that about one of our presidents. You know, like just take like 20% of the things that fucking asshole does in that movie.
But
Like,
even if you're watching that and saying, well, only 30% was real, which 30% are you okay with?
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's okay with them like going into clubs, I guess, and just like sitting there.
Yikes.
Half star, very bad movie. This movie is very bad. And all of it is made up. They're all lies. I don't think this Ali Abbasi guy knows how to make a movie. He's not very bright. Not a talented director at all. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
If you ask that person to name one other of his movies, he would not be able to.
Well, and every time I emphasize the all caps, but he also wanted to thank you for your attention to this matter.
If somebody writes a review in all caps, you need to immediately move away from it.
Or it could be the guy that's the subject of the movie that wrote that review. Just saying. Okay, I like this one. Boring, unnecessary, stupid hair. Half star. Stupid hair. Stupid hair.
That might be the biggest diss you can give somebody with your hair. Like, could you imagine somebody that walking up to you and be like, "Your hair's stupid"?
I can't imagine it, but
it would
I
hurt.
feel
That
it would
hurt.
cut me quick. Stupid hair. Half star. Okay, half star. Not because the performance wasn't on point. In fact, Sebastian Stan nailed Trump. I can say with full confidence that these were the 2 worst hours of my whole entire life. Like, I wanted to KMS. And trigger warning, that means kill yourself. Kill themselves. So
The worst 2 hours of this person's life.
Right. Even though Sebastian Stan nailed it, but that wasn't enough to make it. This wasn't enough to make it worse than the time that they found out their dad had stage 4, or the time that like they watched their child get run over by a Zamboni. Nope. This is the worst 2 hours of their life.
Watching a very good performance made him want to KMS.
That he killed. They nailed. But no, they like Ack wanted to KMS. So it's a hard life.
He's in the whole movie. He's not in one scene, or he's in every scene.
True. Nailing it. This one's from IMDb. I thought the first half was awesome and very interesting. I thought the second half was too extreme, and they demonized him too aggressively. The first half was almost inspiring, and the second half made me feel depressed. Of course that's what they intended, so perhaps it's a 5-star, because they got the intended reaction perfectly. In that sense, maybe it was a great movie, but in the end, I'm not sure I like how they did my man Donald, and it seems clear that that was the goal they had with this release. 0 star.
So a good movie is basically what
amazing
this
movie,
is
actually,
saying.
yeah. But then it got sad.
It's almost like a character has an arc throughout a movie.
But you heard how he described his main man. I mean, that's his man. You know, that's his man, DJT. That's his man. And if like, hey, look, somebody made a biopic about you that was as disparaging as this one, you know, I might also say, hey, they did him dirty. You know, even if there were even if there were court transcripts that describe the horrible atrocities you did to
It's
people.
almost like he could have sued them for libel.
He could have.
And if he was right that they were telling lies, he would have won.
Well, it's almost as if we live in a fucking reality where he would do that anyway, because we live in hell. Oh, by the way, all of this is just alleged. See, this is what we have to do now. This is what
I
we
love
have to
how,
do.
but that's the epitome of, I mean, again, not to get political.
We're just as big as Don Lemon, man.
You're watching such a good movie, but because your innate love for a guy in the real world is being disparaged, you can't acknowledge that, or you don't give it 5 stars.
Worse than that, he does acknowledge that the movie probably did achieve its intended effect, but it doesn't jibe with his version of reality, man. It's hard. It's hard to look yourself in the mirror.
My main man.
This was interesting to me. Only took 10 minutes to turn this off. Very impressive. And I just want to say, I'm not impressed by that. If I wanted to turn something off, it would only take me like 10 seconds, tops. It depends on how long it takes to find the remote. So, no, I understand what you were saying, Vinimas. Ooh,
Very impressive.
Yeah. Just a few more. Most disappointing film of the year. This was a slog and a half to get through, just straight nothing but villains running around all the movie. Fuck the camera quality that looks like the opening of Terrifier 3. Fuck the nauseating The Office-style direction that turns this from a movie to a half-ass found footage doco-looking ass. Fuck how every set in this film looks so much like a set is infuriating. I don't care if this was on purpose. Fuck the orange filter that is burnt into this fucking film. Jeremy Strong has a terrible performance until the last 20 minutes, and the only good part was Maria kicking ass as Ivanka. I'm not sure that's how I would describe it.
Yep.
That was a good contrast. The only other good part is seeing Sebastian Stan go from looking and acting nothing like Trump to actually ending with a good performance and looking a lot like him. God, I expected so much more.
God, I hated how this film actually ended up being good.
Fuck everything that was interesting about it.
What was the first sentence of it?
Most disappointing film of the year.
Oh no! After that, what was
This was a slog and a half to get through. Just straight nothing but villains running around all the movie.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
you said the
tune
quiet
this
part
in?
out loud.
You put this movie on thinking that they were just going to be good humans in society.
Well, the other thing is, okay, and so I saw a little bit of this, like about the artifice of it and the cheapness of it and like how like sets look like sets and stuff. I actually think the film is making a deliberate choice to show you how tacky and artificial the world that man has chosen to live in is. You know, like, I actually don't think it's like that subtle.
No, I think there's some scenes towards the end, especially where it's pretty obvious.
But even the aesthetic of the filmmaking, I think, is just to be like, this is like a very insider Hollywood, like, you know, lifestyles of the rich and famous ass reproduction of the aesthetic of the 80s and video and like the videotape aesthetic and stuff. And like, and that shit always sucked then. And like, it's tacky and garish. And that's the world that this
fucking guy lives in, you know?
Well, I think there's probably a hint too of trying to ground it a bit and trying to
maybe.
delineate of how real this actually was and how much of this actually happened.
Right. They might not want to like be pointing the finger too aggressively, especially because it's the most litigious man in the history of history. In fact, that's a big part of what the fucking movie's about. In fact, that's like the biggest thing that's about. But I digress. I got one more for you, and it's kind of in a similar tack as one of our previous reviews.
Magic stick.
When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. Only a master of evil, Trump. 0 stars.
So he got the essence of the movie and the message of the movie, but 0 stars.
But also, I'm starting to notice that there's a lot of crossover with Star Wars fans. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. Only a master of evil, Trump.
So the correlation between Star Wars fans and The Apprentice fans is not.
There's a high crossover.
There's a high crossover, but the satisfaction.
No, the satisfaction levels are. Turns out if you're like really into operatic space fantasy, you aren't going to be into seeing a sad, realistic portrayal of a pathetic man bloviating throughout the 80s and doing sexual assault to somebody. Turns out maybe if the world that you live in, I'll tell you a brief anecdote before we peace out, and I won't say who this is because there's no way that they're going to listen. There's a person that I follow on a social media site, and they're like a Disney person. Like they're just always at Disneyland, you know.
No.
And I wouldn't have described this person as like a Disney adult to meet them, but you just see what they post, and like it's like every other thing. It's like they're either at Disneyland or watching a Disney movie or whatever. But they're also like very politically left leaning, and so there's just this thing that they posted, and again, they're never gonna listen to this. It's like picture of Disneyland, picture of them at like Star Wars Land or whatever, picture of them like eating a churro with the mouse ears on, and then they were like clearly behind somebody, like in line, like a ride, and they had and that person had like a Charlie Kirk shirt on, and like this person mutters to themselves like and videotapes it for the grams. Fuck this fucking person. Fuck you, and fuck you for coming to Disneyland, ruining it with your fucking filthy fucking. And then like proceeds to follow it up with more pictures of like happy times at Disneyland. So they literally like bookended their thing. Where they just like happened to place this like political vitriol in the middle of it. And hey, listen, who among us? I'm right there with you, friend. Mm-hmm. But that's what this review feels like to me. It feels like you're going Star Wars, Donald Trump.
Oh, what was the other one? The two Siths one?
When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. Only a master of evil, Trump. Okay, now you get the context. The other one was always two there are, the Sith, and they always destroy each other. Pretty sure that's not. That's fine. You know what? We've learned a lot today, and we learned a lot about DJT and a lot about relationship movies and
magic
sticks, and his name's Harmony, by the way. Well, I think that's gonna do it. CaskinsType@gmail.com, CaskinsType at all the socials. You can find our feed at the RSS feed at soundcloud.com/catpod. You can find the pod on all of the podding deals, like iTunes, and now that Spotify has rejected ICE. For now, we can mention them again, and Amazon and iHeart and your heart and everybody's in the Kalima.
Everybody's heart.
And go ahead and submit some stuff. CaskinsType@gmail.com. Give us your queries. We occasionally roll on the mailbag, and we have to have some mail to unbag. So do it, everybody. Just remember your magic sticks. His name is Harmony, by the way. Okay, bye.
Harmony.
And reach the morning light. Fly me high to the starry skies. Maybe to an astral plane. Cross the highways of fantasy. Highways and roadkill. help me to forget today's pain. There really is a lot of pain because of the brain worms. I can't get me through the night. Oh,